Let's talk about a few things to think about before we start judging and sitting on our high horse of self righteousness, talking about the issues with characters like Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, and KSI. Because obviously, if you guys didn't know, which thank God for you, if you didn't, unfortunately for myself, I do, that, they recently released this new product called Lunchly, which is basically like the influencer version of Lunchables, where you get a Feastable in there, and then you get a bottle of Prime, and then they basically have the same type of like foodstuffs that you would have in like a normal Lunchable, but like better for you and more healthy, and all the usual. I don't even want to get into that per se, right? Because what I want to talk about is the reason why these guys boldly continue this stuff. Because I don't know why people are so shocked and surprised that these guys boldly continue to just pursue all these things despite all the backlash Mr. Beast is facing, with everything that's coming out about the Beast games, what's going on behind the scenes, what was happening with the kids on Discord, why are we always attacking the kids because we're working for the devil, and that was always what he was focused on, and why he went to Eve because he was after the kids, and why he's ruining everybody's childhood. But anyway, right, all Logan Paul and the crypto zoo issue and the unaliving forest and the whatever you want to say about these folks, right? And KSI, he's got less than the other two, but he also has had his moments of serious issues also, right? Now, I want to talk to you guys because I want us to be real for a second, because the fact that these people are continuing to get richer and richer while the public is getting madder and madder is not happening by accident. Okay, so how about instead of us getting upset and instead of all these people making all these videos talking about what's Lunchly as this and this, like it really is irritating me how people just do so much talking in the society and not a lot of learning. There's a lot of talking, there's a lot of attention, there's a lot of judgment, there's a lot of whatever commenting that goes on. There's not a lot of learning happening, right? So let's learn a few lessons. First things first, I want to address the Logan Paul crypto zoo thing, because this is something that infuriates me. And honestly, as a young woman, it's one of the few times I was so disappointed at a large number of men in the world. Because when Logan Paul had this whole crypto zoo malarkey, which if you don't know about that, go and check out, the videos that are out there. I think it was CoffeeZilla, if I remember, did a whole series and, and whatever. And it's funny to me as well, right? How these YouTubers will be like the victims of such and such. Because I'm like, you're not a victim. This is what I'm saying. This is why I shouldn't be. I don't know if the world can handle this stuff, like the adult population. You're not a victim. You, with your free will, who already knew Logan Paul and his character and the type of person that he was and what he had been known for, and that he was scatty online, took the risk. Listen, I have cryptocurrency myself. I know how this stuff works. When you get into anything to do with crypto, you are given are you aware? All the terms and conditions. Maybe some people weren't reading it because they were too busy just wanting to follow along blindly into whatever Logan Paul, their influencer, was doing, right? Right, because again, people are slaves to money. This is the thing. These people use the slavery to money against people in society. We're going to come back to that with the Mr. Beast games as well, and what people were prepared to do because of the amount of money. And all of a sudden, this is what I'm saying. Every time there's money on the line, it really brings out the true nature of people, and it just goes to show how much the world is slaves to money. But anyway, so yeah, people run off when you get crypto and stuff, when you get into any type of, like investing and, all that type of stuff, anything where you can't guarantee exactly how much money you're going to get out and there's a potential for you to lose everything you've gained. You are aware that whatever you invest, no matter how great the odds are, you could lose everything. That's how it works. That's why for me, I ain't never put loads of money into any of this stuff. In fact, I've only put money that somehow I've acquired for free. Because then at least if the money goes, it's not like it was my money in the first place, right? That's me holding myself accountable. I'm not going to go and blame the platforms. I'm not going to go and blame somebody else. I'm not going to go and say, oh, KSI said in his video to that bit, we should all invest in Bitcoin. It's my duty as a grown adult to take accountability for my own choices and my own actions. And if I follow somebody that led me astray, don't get me wrong, the Lord will hold us all accountable, or the Lord will hold everybody accountable. But it's not for me to now blame them as if I did not make the decision with my own brain. So I'm saying, I'm looking at men Like, you guys are supposed to have testicles and testosterone. You're supposed to be logical thinkers. So when I'm seeing grown men older than Logan Paul showing up and having all these stories like, yeah, man, I gave 20K because I thought that he said that if we got this, then we got... I'm like, dude, are men still here anymore? Like, genuinely. Where's the accountability? You are not a victim. You took a risk, and you better just affirm that you took the risk. You just got to shoulder that. So that's the first thing. That's why when people are like, oh, we got to shut down Logan, I'm not trying to say that Logan Paul hasn't done something wrong. I'm saying putting all the force onto him as if he's the one who walked into your house and took your finger and typed in all this stuff and signed in and skipped past these terms and conditions, which I think a lot of people probably did, and all of that is so stupid. You look dumb. That's the truth. You look dumb. That's why this whole situation, every time people bring it up, it just grinds my gears. Anytime somebody brings up people investing in something that somebody did and then just completely putting all the blame on that person and not for 1 second acknowledging, hey, I took a risk and it's up to me to take the risk that I took. And if it didn't work out for me, then so be it. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's that for starters, right? Let's talk about Mr. Beast as well now. And all of them, because they all have one thing in common, and this is why the three of them are able to continue making money no matter what they do, because they have monetized the attention of children. Now, I work with kids, you guys, and it is one of the worst things that's happened to me, not because of the kids, because I love them, but it has truly revealed to me the nature of the society that I live in and how truly unsafe it actually is for them, right? Because in this modern society that we're all living in, that we're talking about right now, right? People are leaving their kids unsupervised on the internet, right? And so the kids are being left unsupervised on the internet, seeing and doing whatever they want. And they are always the target because they are the easiest ones to sway, because we're all naive as kids, aren't we? And ignorant. That's why the powers that be always target the kids. That's why the enemy, the devil, targets the children. That's why even Apple, when they first started releasing iPhones, guess what they did? You know who their target audience was? 13 to 15-year-olds. You know why? Because all of us adults, prior to the kids asking for it, would never have justified paying all this stupid amount of money for that people pay these days for iPhones and whatever. But if your kid is nagging you about it, and then because the kids are on it and then the adults, it was a genius strategy. And now people are buying the new iPhone. I'm like, what even is new about these phones anymore? Like, for me, I'll be so for real. I don't see the value in upgrading my phone every time there's a new whatever. I'm just like, look, if it does what it needs to do, I'm happy. I don't care if they've done this. I don't care if there's a better camera, this, that, and the other. Listen, I don't care. If my phone does what it needs to do, that's all that matters to me. But, and so they monetize the kids, you guys. So the kids don't care. The kids don't get it. Children don't get a lot of the things that adults get. Like, children don't understand when somebody's been inappropriate even with them. I will always use this story, guys, because this is a story that broke my heart. And this is one of those stories that reminds me of why I truly hate the adult population. There was a kid once, and this kid had taken their own life. And I think the kid was 11 or 12. And the kid left their mum a note. And do you know what this kid's note said? And this is what I'm trying to say about children and why they are to be protected and looked after and monitored, right? Not just left to the fed to the wolves, right? This kid says in the note, hey mum, so I decided to essentially take my own life because you said that the worst thing that ever happened to you was me being born, and I just want you to be happy, and you said you were happy before I came along, so this is why I decided to take my life. I just want you to know I love you more than anything, and I just want you to be happy. Because kids, they don't understand. This is why when people are actually trying to come for people who said things as like when they were a teenager, when they were this, I'm like, children don't understand. They don't understand. It takes a lot longer in life. This is why a lot of people have midlife crises, quarter life crises, all these different things. This is why so many adults now, everybody's in therapy. I cannot tell you how irritating. BetterHelp. Here at BetterHelp. Sign up to BetterHelp today. This video is sponsored by I'm like, oh my gosh. Why do we need so much therapy? Why are we doing so much to heal? Why is everybody going to be talking about attachment styles and generational trauma? Because so much went wrong in our childhoods because we weren't looking after kids the way we were supposed to be. And now we're all realizing as adults the truth of what had happened, and now we're having to correct it all. Yeah, but here's the problem is that you have to actually get to adulthood for that to happen. So you know what can happen along the way in those years? You can be manipulated if you don't have the right, boundaries and guidance and disciplines and people around you to make sure that you are living in healthy circumstances. And so therefore the likes of Mr. Beast and Logan Paul and KSI can do whatever they want, because you were never their target audience anyways. People are like, oh, this is the end for Mr. Beast, this is the end. I'm like, no, it's probably not. It's probably not the end for any of them. It's probably not. Because all it's going to be is the few adults that even what kept up with this anyway, because most adults are too busy working and too busy stressed because they can't afford to buy eggs these days, right? To even be keeping up the way that the kids do. And those same adults who are so busy trying to afford eggs are the same adults who are throwing all these devices at their kids, and the same adults on those devices themselves, but just doing other things. So then the kids are still giving these people the views, and the kids are still being invested, and the kids are still hounding the parents, Mom, Dad, please can you get me this? Please can you get me that? Please can you get? And then the parents just do it. Whether they, do you know what's funny? I was working with this family, and I was there like kind of helping to homeschool / look after the kids, right? And there was two of the kids were like 4 and 9, and so the lady, she technically is a stepmom, but anyway, so the stepmom, I don't know if they would appreciate if I called her that, but anyway, they're somewhat stepmom anyway. She, because they've been hounding her for Prime, she bought them Prime because she saw Prime was on a deal in the supermarket. Now, what she didn't recognize is the reason why that Prime was on a deal is because it was the caffeinated one, because obviously the more popular one is the non-caffeinated one, because the majority of people spending money on all this stuff is the kids anyways. And obviously the parents that are paying attention are not going to buy the caffeinated version, but she didn't know there was a difference because she's just buying what she's been being hounded to buy week after week, day after day. So it was then me who said, are you aware there's caffeine in that you're giving to a 4-year-old and a 9-year-old? No, I didn't even know. I'm like, you guys, this is what I'm saying. Do you think so much of the adult, this is where the adult population really does badly by being so disconnected. One of the reasons I keep up with certain topics, I'll say to you guys, like, I watch the Sidemen videos and this, that. The reason why I get into these things initially is always because I want to be knowing what the kids are knowing about, so that whatever I need to do to be aware of whatever, I can be aware as an adult, as a teacher, as a whatever. I can spot things better because I'm not just being like, oh, I don't get what they're doing from over here. Meanwhile, they're all, watching and following and supporting and worshipping all these predators and whatnot. I am aware of what they're getting involved in, right? That's why the moment TikTok came and all the young people that I knew who were on TikTok, I joined TikTok and I followed them. And I was like, yep, I'm here. I hope you know that I'm here, because I'm here. And like, I didn't make a big kerfuffle about it. I just joined it and I was there and I was monitoring. Even Roblox is another one that adults today don't realize that there's chat rooms on there. Like, as my younger brother was telling me when he was like 13, he was telling me, or even 12, and thank God he's as wise as he is, because praise be the name of Jesus. Because anyway, so he was telling me how there's chat rooms on Roblox. Roblox is another one that parents just don't even think is an issue. Like, oh, they're just all there with their friends. No, there are chat rooms where there's like these games that they play, and obviously they can basically create anything, right? On there, any type of game, they can make their houses, they can play with their friends, they can do a lot, right? There's places where there are predators going in there pretending to be kids and being inappropriate with them on Roblox. And I found out about this from a kid. Do you think the adult population even knows that? Oh, Roblox, that's just that game. Oh yeah, I picked up my son some Robux when I was in the supermarket because he likes to play Roblox and he wants to play with his friends. Like, you don't even know what they're doing. This is what I'm saying. So before we're all sitting here judging, right, the likes of the KSIs, the Logan Pauls, and Mr. Beast, the question we should be asking ourselves is, why did they get away with it in the first place? Because these are the things I'm telling you about. The lack of accountability, just acting like, oh, because they're in a position, people are like, you have a platform, so because you have a platform, you're responsible. No, the hell they're not responsible. We need to throw away this whole, oh, because an influencer has a platform, they're responsible. You're responsible. They didn't shove the video down your throat. They didn't walk into your house and put the video on the TV screen or on your phone or on your laptop or something. You clicked on the video. You paid for that Wi-Fi. You bought that device and you clicked on that video. So how about we stop blaming influencers? How about we stop blaming people for our lack of self-control and our lack of intelligence and wisdom? How about we take some accountability, right? And you know what? Let's take accountability for the kids as well, because you know why these things are happening? Like I said, while you're all arguing, you're all judging, oh no, Mr. Beast, oh I didn't know, oh Logan Paul KSI. They're still marinating the kids because the kids are still left unsupervised. The kids are being raised by them. And do you know what makes it worse? What makes it worse is your own households, your own communities, your own families and everything are in shambles. So then now when you've allowed them to become exposed to all these things on the internet, they're hearing you complaining about your broke self, and they're hearing you complaining about the price of eggs, and they're watching you going through a divorce, and they're saying, oh, KSI is in a relationship. All of a sudden, somebody else just got married. Logan Paul and his girlfriend are having a baby. They're saying their relationships together. They're saying these guys are wasting money on, buying 100 ostrich eggs just for the fun of it because they can afford to do it. It's not hard to say to parents sometimes, like, and I say it in a really respectful manner that, you got to understand that from where your kids are looking from, you saying that following the footsteps of what you did is you're telling them to do that. I'm like, you're like, they're looking at these people and they're seeing a lifestyle that they want. Logically speaking, any logical person, if we're to all remove our emotions and everything from the equation, logically speaking, you are going to be inclined to follow the advice of somebody that lives the life you want to live. You're not going to go and ask a homeless person, how do I become a billionaire? You meet Mark Cuban, you're going to be like, how do I become a billionaire? Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you're trying to say, this is why I work in education. So obviously when the parents are trying to say stuff to me like, oh, I don't understand the kids. They're just always on their devices. They don't focus on school. I'm like, because they're looking at you and they're looking at what focusing on school did for you. Humble thyself. And at least have the attitude to say, you know what? This is what I did. This is what I did wrong. This is what you should do better. Learn from my mistakes. But then the adult population has too much pride, A, to admit to mistakes, and B, to even take any accountability. And that's why these people get away with it. And that's why they'll continue to, because they'll continue to monetize off of these unsupervised kids that are all over the internet, seeing these people living the lives that they want to live, dreaming. People are like, oh, everybody wants to be an influencer these days. Of course they freaking do. Because all the adult population is doing these days is complaining about everything, the cost of houses, the cost of living, the cost of this, the cost of that. Everybody, all types of relationships in tatters, friendships are in tatters, people are cheating with their best friend or their brothers, sisters, or whatever. Everybody's getting divorced left, right, and center. Relationships have become so transactional and everybody's got so many walls up that like nowadays people have to literally, it's not like people make vows to each other of what they're prepared to do. It's like now you need to like sign this contract as if what you are signing up for, and the second you don't meet exactly what I want, exactly the way that I want it and how I want it, then I'm out of this thing. I find society to be such an ugly place. And on the note of that, I'll just add this in while we're here. Can I tell you one thing that I find insane is how people be like, and how long, if your wife lost her job or if her husband lost his job, how many months would you wait before you would leave them? I'm like, how is that a question? What happened to sickness and health for rich or for poorer? What happened to commitment? This is what I'm saying. So these are the things that young people are seeing. Listen, I'm saying as a young person, I'm Gen Z. I'm the oldest of Gen Z. I'm the oldest, okay? 1997 is when I was born. So I get why my generation is feeling. I see it because I feel the same way. I'm thinking like, you think I want to listen to any of you guys? Your lives are not together. All of your families are dysfunctional. You've got childhood trauma like nothing that you can't deal with. You think that by pretending it's not happening and being bitter, that somehow it's hidden. And actually it's only more obvious by just how bitter and angry you are, right? You're giving advice to do the things that you did, but this is how your life turned out. I would rather put my time into the likes of these other folks now, obviously not because I'm an adult, as in I know better than to be supporting Mr. Beast and Logan Paul and whatever's. And I've said this to you guys before. We, the people, have so much power. How we spend our time, our money and everything is why people get away with things. The fact that you people sit there watching these videos and supporting in this, that's why they're there. If nobody had signed up to CryptoZoo, with Logan Paul. If nothing would have happened anyway. If nobody was clicking onto their videos, they wouldn't have platforms. But then people are so enslaved by the money. This is why I think people really liked Mr. Beast, because they like the idea that, oh, I like Mr. Beast because he gives money to strangers and he gives a lot. So if I ever bump into Mr. Beast and if I follow everything that he's doing, he's genius. He'd be like, stop people like, hey, if you follow me, I'll give you $1,000. Yeah, it was so smart, because he knows that people are desperate for money, slaves to money. Slaves. I hate money. I truly hate it. I've really truly come to hate money, especially this year, because I'm just like, people really be doing anything and everything and just losing their minds for money. And it's actually sad. It actually upsets me. It actually upsets me so much that people are really willing to do whatever just for the sake of money. And then you, the same adults doing all these things, prepared to do whatever for money, then wonder why the kids as well are now looking out for the people that are actually making money in this life. Like, can we have a reality check? I'm just saying, life's a game and it's played to win. God bless you and God loves you. I love you. I'll see you in my next one.